Hello everyone, Maurice and welcome to Things to Invest. Talk about investing, finance, fish the women. For today's series tips only, the investment top today will be Ethereum ticket ETH. So it's my second video that I'm posting again today. With respect to the timing of the recording of 2:52 p.m. on this Eastern time, current trade $3,236, up about 0.59% so far. So while I was having lunch, I was just catching up on the news front. There doesn't seem to be any new percolations on the media front today, and we seem like we are normalizing on a technical perspective, surging to today's high of $3,302, trying to get to the next substantive level of 3,385. But we couldn't get there, so whatever goes up really fast, go to the next level of substantive or non-substantive consolidation zone, right? And that's the case that we're currently at right now at 3,250, which is the level we have identified as the next level of non-substantive zone, right? And with respect to the cool off that we're experiencing right now, ever since the surge that we experienced yesterday, I believe Bitcoin hit about like 7.5% of a surge yesterday, and Ethereum was up about close to being around like 7% yesterday as well. I think it was 6.94% at one time. While at the same time, Dogecoin was up about like 6% as well, and Cardano was up about like 16% yesterday. So there was obviously a lot more surge experience with respect to the altcoin yesterday in comparison to stable coins. So remember today's a Friday as well, so we are kind of normalizing right now, despite the positive news we've been hearing so far, right, on the media front. And just to recap on some of the news that we talked about this morning already, would be some of the big ones, right, with respect to Coinbase getting the board approval to add $500 million of crypto into the balance sheets, right? And they aim to invest 10% of their profits, their net profits, in digital asset going forward. So they are obviously bullish, which makes sense. They are a crypto assets exchange provider. And then another one that's talking about with respect to specifying on Ethereum is coming from CoinDesk about I would say 15 hours ago. Is the Ethereum 2.0 staking now largest Ether holders at 21.3 billion. So relatively large amount of 2.0 that's being staked, and this is just another regurgitation, reinforcement news of something that we are well aware of already. And then some other news is really talking about with respect to knowing the fact that we've been struggling above the $3,000 mark for Ethereum. How likely are we going to be able to sustain, right? And per our technical analysis and the chart that we're comparing, the Wall Street cheat sheets that we talked about this morning, it seems like we are experiencing some sort of like a bull trap or like a dead cat bounce. I hope it's not what we think it is, but based on our comparison, the chart looks very comparable to the cheat sheet that we have. So ultimately, we are in the business of risk mitigation, and when the trades and the momentum on the media front, looks so comparable to how the story was played out historically, we have to be extra cautious, right? We have to be, tingling our spidey sense on identifying the right level to dollar cost average to risk control to prevent major bleeding going forward, the sell off that we might incur. So I'm gonna go back to the technical analysis to see how we're trending right now with respect to this Friday and the weekend coming because of the weekend affectation that we often know that people are taking some profit. I know that we are already taking some profit because of the liquidation events that we are seeing in front of us right now, selling from the $3,300. So I'm gonna take a look at the momentum and see how the weekend will play out. So stay tuned, Instagram. Let's make some money. Right, so moving on to the technical analysis for Ethereum ticket ETH. On recordings of 2:57 p.m. on the Eastern time, current trade $3,236, up about 0.58% so far. You can see that with the effort that's leading the whole surge across the whole market for crypto is really coming from Bitcoin, right? You can see we're surging leap up and away right now. And I do see maybe potentially some more bullishness because of the fact that we are slowly forming this cross here, but we have to verify this. We have to wait upon the cross section because if we cross, we will see a little bit more bullishness happening with respect to Bitcoin. And you could see that today we were trying to get above the $49,000 mark to get to the next level, $50,000, which is still another, if you look at this, it's like close to about 870 something dollars left for us to search up, right? So the swing was relatively large today, about like a $1,800 swings from right now. And this is obviously driven by the, again, right, the $600 million of option expiry occurrence that we experience in a volatility perspective, right? So Ethereum is being dragged up, but we are normalizing. We surge up only by 0.41% despite the surge that we saw already. And remember, yesterday we were up about 7% yesterday, right? So continue to be like run up and away just wouldn't make quite sense, because ultimately the liquidity or the money has to come from somewhere, right? And it seems like it's being chased towards obviously Bitcoin and some other coins right now in the monetary perspective. So what I see going forward is that the ideal case, like I keep mentioning, right, would be just trade on a sideways fashion from here, right? Trading on a sideways fashion, bouncing between the 3,000 and 3,150, or obviously 3,200. But this is not really a substantive level, right? 3,150 is a true substantive level, right? So ideally, we'll bounce between the lines right here and continue to drag down the RSI just because of static movement, right? And also on top of the fact that MACD will slowly drag, to a very elongated line in duration. That once you deplete by just trade on sideways, you slowly will form more of a downward wedge, right? When you form a downward wedge, which is basically like a triangle that's, with the apex pointing downward, that eventually as you percolate, you will hit the 3,000, and the whales will be incentivized to buy it because of this like long durations of short-term investors and long-term investors being built into the equations to sustain the level that we at. Eventually a whale or a large institution is going to come in and create a large purchase, which typically happens, right? And once we have that, it will surge up the overall market to follow, right? And that's something we have to watch out. So the wedge is still, relatively premature to be forming at the moment. We just endured for like a couple of weeks now. So it's something we have to watch and look out for if that's the case going forward. Just to recap on numbers and technical analysis, it seems like we are normalizing right now ever since the surge that we endured yesterday and today. But because of the Friday and the Saturday, people are taking profits for the weekend affectation, as we mentioned previously. And we're normalizing because it doesn't just keep surging for no reason. The money has to come from somewhere. So I think 3,000 would be the first level that you might want a dollar cost average, just as a fair level. The ideal best case situation would be just trade on a sideways fashion, right? 3,000 and 3,150, 3,000, 3,150, bounce upon those levels, right? But if we break the 3,000, the next level is coming to 2,750, which we try to, but it seems like there are a lot more. There's like a battle between the bears and the bulls, right? And every single time we break below, to hit around like the 3,000, to hit somewhere around like the 2,950, which is frankly another flat number people want to buy at, will always come back up to be above 3,000, right? But we can only endure that level of sustainability for so long. So we have to watch, and I hope that we are forming some sort of like a downward wedge that will form a large surge coming, because of the imbalance in the market dynamics, right? So for me, knowing the fact that I do have a large position, 2,750, 2,450, if we complete the whole cycle per our, the Wall Street cheat sheet that we showed earlier today, that would be the level that would be dollar cost averaging, right? But if you want to buy at the current level, the 9,800 12-month price target, basically next year by June, 3.3 times your money would not be not logical per our technical analysis. All right, so that's it for there. Respect my technical analysis on Ethereum ticket ETH. So it's my lunch time right now, despite it's 3:05 p.m. on the Eastern time right now. But I just want to do an update real quick before I have my lunch. I just have like 2 more meetings before I wrap up the day for Friday. And that's it. Yeah, pretty much, has a relatively chill day today. I just had like 4 or 5 meetings for like 30 minutes each, so not too eventful in comparisons to my early part of the week so far. But we really appreciate you. You know, you guys are really asking the right questions, and we really appreciate the support you give me on a daily basis as well. And yeah, have a good rest of the Friday, and stay tuned for us to come up. Take care. Bye.